Hi everyone, welcome back to Field and Frame. This is the end table build part 2, and we're going to be putting the lower shelf in today. If you didn't see part 1, go back and check that out, and then you'll see where we're starting from. And we'll get started. So here's the base that we glued up in the last video, and I've got the lower shelf below it. I'm going to show you how we mark that out, cut it, and dry fit it in there before we put our hardware in. We still haven't sanded anything down, so we're not ready yet. We're just getting all the pieces ready to be able to put back together once we have some time to sand it, and I hopefully won't bore you with sanding the whole thing because it's going to take a while. But this is going to be stained a dark walnut color, like I said in the last video. But to mark out where that shelf needs to be cut so that it fits inside the frame we have, we're going to flip the frame upside down and use that to mark our cut lines. And I just got it squared up. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. There's a little bit of a reveal on each side that will maintain the aesthetic there. As you can see, I'm just using a pencil to mark where those lines need to be. These inside corners are going to be where the lower shelf fits in. So I've got those marked out, and if you look closely, I'm going to pick it up here in just a second. You'll be able to see it in the upper left-hand mark. You can see where the round over bit, where the pencil traced that. That's going to be useful in the next step because we need to mark those lines from the line we marked out to the edge of the shelf board. So I grabbed a trim square there, a little less cumbersome than a full-on framing square, and I'm just making a quick little mark there, and you can see what I meant by going out to the edge. So we do that on all 4 corners, and then once we have that ready, we will move on to getting ready to cut. I'm using a jigsaw with a scroll saw blade meant for wood, and just a quick tip, if you're using a similar saw with adjustable speed settings and a hardwood like this, go ahead and turn the speed up a little higher. I had mine all the way up because it just kept bogging down whenever I was trying to cut through there on a lower speed. But this is a scroll saw blade, so I could move it if I wanted to, but I don't do that. I just make straight cuts here. It's a little bit easier to stay on the line. And then here you're going to see I'm going to go all the way from the edge across to my last cut. Instead of trying to make a scroll cut, just going in a straight line there. This was a pretty fresh blade. I didn't really have any binding issues or anything, but I will warn you, my jigsaw at least, you can see the profile that I made. So I'm just going to cut out the rest of these, but on my jigsaw, for some reason, the blade is angled forward a little bit, and so it kind of cuts into the other side, the top of the other side of the plank that we're working with. So there you can kind of see what I'm talking about, how I come all the way across in a straight line instead of trying to make that L shape. I just cut to where I had cut previously, where I marked with the trim square, and that little piece falls out. So now you can see I have it all cut out. If you see all those marks, that's just from the metal base of the jigsaw, and that's going to be easily sanded out. Here's what I was talking about, where the blade was angled wrong and it kind of cut into the other side, but that will be completely hidden, and once there's stain on it, you won't even know. But we are going to dry fit that into our frame now, and it is a tight fit, so I had to turn it a few times to make sure I got it just right where I had marked it, and then it fits in just like that. You can see on this front face that there's a little bit of a gap there, but our hardware that goes into that slot on the underside of the rail will fix that. So that's the final product, and I'll do a little zoom out here in just a second and show you the whole thing. I went ahead and put the top on, I just set it on there, and that's kind of what it's going to look like until we get it stained. Thanks for watching Field and Frame, and please like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.